Today is January 1st, 2026, and I will be reading the Bible in the canonical order, and I will be reading Genesis 1 to 3 today, and I am reading the English Standard Version of the Bible. Genesis 1, chapter 1, when God created the world. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 2. The earth was without form and void, and the darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the faces of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Verse 4. And God saw the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. Verse 5. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening and there was morning, the first day. Verse 6. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the water, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And verse 7. And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. Verse 8. God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, the second day. Verse 9. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens gather together into into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. Verse 10. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas, and God saw that it was good. Verse 11. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants, yielding seeds, and trees bearing fruit in which their fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind on the earth." And it was so. Verse 12. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seeds according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind. And God saw it was good. Verse 13. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. Verse 14. And God said, "Let there be light in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Verse 15. And let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens, and give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 16. And God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. Verse 17. And God set them in the expanse of the heavens to give the light on the earth. Verse 18. To rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw it was good. Verse 19. There was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. Verse 20. And God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens." Verse 21. So God created the sea creatures and every living creature that moves with which the waters swarm according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw it was good. Verse 22. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." Verse 23. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. Verse 24. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. Verse 25. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw it was good. Verse 26. Then God said, let us make man in our own image, after likeness, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heaven, and over livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And every verse 30, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. Verse 31. God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning on in there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. Chapter 2 of Genesis, verse 1. The seventh day God rests. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Verse 2. And on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work he had done. Verse 3. So God blessed the seventh day, and made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. Verse 4. The creation of man and woman. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Verse 5. When no bush of field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground. Verse 6. And a mist was going up from the land, and the watering the whole face of the ground. Verse 7. Then the Lord God from formed the man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. Verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east. They and they and there he put the man whom was formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Verse 10. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there in it divided and became four rivers. Verse 11. The name of the first is the Pison. It was sorry. It is the one who flowed around the whole land of Haval, where there is gold. Verse 12. And the gold of that land is good. Bethlehem and oxen stone were there. Verse 13. The name of the second river is Gihon. It it is the one that flowed around the whole land of Cush. Verse 14. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Verse 15. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You you may have surely you may surely eat of every tree of the garden. Verse 17. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, it for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. Verse 18. Then the Lord said, It is not good Then the Lord said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. Verse 19. Now out of the ground the Lord God had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. Verse 20. The man gave names to all the livestock and to the birds of the heavens and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was no found there was not found a helper fit for him. Verse 21. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, he took out one of his ribs and closed up in its place with flesh. Verse 22. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man he had made into a woman and brought her to the man. Verse 23. Then the man said, This is this This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Verse 24. Therefore the man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Verse 25. The man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed. Chapter 3 of Genesis. The fall. Verse 1. Now the serpent was more than crafty than any other of the beasts of the field, and the Lord God had made. He he said to the woman, Did God actually say, You shall not eat from any tree in the garden? Verse 2. And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. Verse 4. But the serpent said to the woman, You will not surely die. Verse 5. For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Verse 6. So when the woman saw the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight in his eyes, and a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise. Verse 11. She took of its fruits and ate, and she also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. Verse 7. Then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. Verse 8. And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. Verse 9. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, Where are you? Verse 10. And he said, He heard the sound I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. Verse 11. He said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you not to eat? Verse 12. The man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit of the tree, and I ate. Verse 13. Then the Lord God said to the woman, What is it that you have done? The woman said, The serpent deceived me, and I ate it. And I ate. Verse 14. The Lord God said to the serpent, Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock, and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and the dust you shall eat all the days of your life. Verse 15. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring, and he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Verse 16. To the woman he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband, and he shall rule over you. Verse 17. And to Adam he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. You shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat eat of it all the days of your lives. Verse 18. The thorns and thistles that shall bring forth you, and you shall eat the plants of the fields. Verse 19. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Verse 20. The man called his wife name Eve, because she was the mother of all living things. Verse 21. And the Lord God made for Adam and for his wife garments of skins and clothed them. Verse 22. And then the Lord God said, Behold, the man has become like one of us in knowing good and evil. Now lest he reach out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Verse 23. Therefore the Lord God sent him out of the garden of Eden to work the ground from which he was taken. Verse 24. He drove out the man, and at the east of the garden of Eden he placed a cherub, and a flaming sword that turned every way to guard the way of the tree of life. That is the end of Genesis chapter 1 through 3 on January 1st, 2026.